So last video I shorted Bitcoin and we ended up losing $3,300 on that short position here. I ended up closing out well before that fake ETF news came out, which pumped the markets. But anyways, we took the loss and we're back today, back on the short side, and I'm actually 10 times more confident this time around than the last time. And so once again, we lost 3K last time, and currently I'm risking $6,200 because this time I'm planning to put my stop loss around 30,800, meaning once again I'll lose $6,200. So once again, let's talk about the losses. Let's talk about the risk. Last time lost $300. This time risking $6,200, meaning in total, if I am wrong on last video and I am wrong today, I will lose $9,500. Now that we've covered the risk, now that we've covered what if I'm wrong, I want to cover to you the analysis, the reasoning. Why am I confident in shorting the market this time? And think about it. Last time I risked $3,300. So this time I'm willing to risk $6,200, basically double. So I'm 10 times more confident and I'm willing to risk 2 times as much. Why? What am I seeing that you're probably not seeing? That's what this video is going to be for. I'm going to explain to you why I think we're very, very, very likely to hit $28,000 before we go above $31,000 right now in Bitcoin. So let's jump right into it. Gold is hitting a 3-month resistance here that we have not seen since August. All right. Now, Bitcoin has been moving similarly to gold, where you can see in October it's been straight up for gold, and as you can see in October for Bitcoin, it started off a little rough, but has been up since the 10th-ish. All right. So gold and Bitcoin have been moving similarly, and that's why if gold is hitting resistance, that's not necessarily the best thing for Bitcoin if Bitcoin has been performing like gold, right? So on top of that, Bitcoin is hitting this 30K resistance, and I believe there's a good bit of overhead supply. Why? And what do I mean by that? Well, you see up here, we rejected, and so let me give you a quick breakdown of how supply works. Let's say at $30,000, right, there is 1,000 Bitcoin being sold. And so as you come up into that supply, let's say 30 Bitcoin is bought at 30,000. Okay, well, there's still 970 Bitcoin up there willing to be sold. So once you come back up, let's say they buy another 50 Bitcoin. Well, 970 minus 50, there's still 920 Bitcoin left. Come back up, let's say they buy another 50 Bitcoin. Well, 920 down to 870 Bitcoin. You come back up, they buy another 50 Bitcoin, 870 down to 820. Okay, guys, there's still 820 Bitcoin overhead of supply. Now, a lot of times the limit orders can be removed or people can change their mind and there won't be as much Bitcoin overhead. But think about that. That is 800 Bitcoin, for example, right? I'm making up those numbers overhead because basically not all those orders get filled. Not all that supply is actually bought up. That's actually exactly why price came down, because there wasn't enough demand to exceed the supply at a particular level, and that's why supply remains overhead. So let's say in that case of this example I'm giving you to kind of teach you if you don't get it, let's say 1,000, 950, 900, 850, 800 Bitcoin. You come back up, maybe there's not 800 Bitcoin overhead anymore. Maybe some people change their mind. They're feeling a little more bullish, but there's still, out of that 800 Bitcoin that was overhead, there could be 400 left, right? And that is resistance. That is supply that we are running into right now, which can be used the same way in demand. Demand zone would be the opposite of that. Support, right? So anyways, we don't have to go too in detail over that. I mean, I do have the course which breaks down everything you need to know about charts in detail, but that kind of sums up shortly why, hey, coming back into this 3-month resistance, there's still that supply that never got filled overhead, and that's what we're running into right now, right? So on top of that, right, once again, you have 3-month resistance for Bitcoin, you have 3-month resistance for gold, and you have 3-month resistance for Bitcoin USD and its performance versus the NASDAQ. And let me tell you something, the NASDAQ looks absolutely shit in my opinion. Why? Because the biggest stocks in the sector have disgustingly bearish charts right now, and I'll tell you exactly why. Okay, so notice as Amazon is going higher, okay, it gets weaker. Okay, that's number one. Two, some of you may notice, some of you may not notice, that is a legit head and shoulders, not the BS head and shoulders that you see a lot of people talk about. Okay, why is this such a legit head and shoulders? Guys, once again, I go super in detail over this in the course, and I'm going to give you, right now, take notes if you don't truly know your shit about head and shoulders, because it's like a bullshit pattern most of the time, the way people talk about it and use it. People will go on the 1 minute time frame and be like, oh, head and shoulders. Okay, people are so clueless with this pattern. People don't actually know what makes a real head and shoulders, and I'm going to drop the characteristics right now. Decreasing volume in the right shoulder. Okay, you have, it's even better whenever you have a double top within the head, bearish divergence as you're going up, and increased sell volume in the right shoulder, and a MACD crossing right there. Okay, on top of that, a head and shoulders should come at the top or the end of an uptrend. As you can see, Amazon has been uptrending now for a year. Okay, and so when a head and shoulders comes at the end of an uptrend, that is a head and shoulders. But when a lot of people will call a head and shoulders at the freaking bottom, that's not a head and shoulders, bro. A head and shoulders doesn't come at the bottom of a downtrend, all right? So that's one of the biggest mistakes people do, is calling head and shoulders when price is literally downtrending for months or years. That's retarded. And that's why so many people fail to read head and shoulders patterns correctly, because they don't actually know the characteristics that go into it. Once again, in the charts course, we teach 3 main patterns that you got to know. But you got to know them really well on a deeper level compared to most people. So once again, I'm going to go through that real quickly. Right, when you see a MACD cross in that right shoulder, great sign. When you see a double top within the head, great sign. When you see bearish divergence as it's going up, great sign. When you see decreasing volume as it's trying to fight its way higher, but it ends up falling lower through the neckline, right? As you see, volume's decreasing as it's trying to go higher. That's another great sign. Right there, left shoulder, right shoulder, head right there, right? So that is a textbook head and shoulders, guys. It does not get better than that for a head and shoulders. That right there is going to be a high probability head and shoulders that's going to make you money, not the BS 1 minute head and shoulders you see all the time. Another stock that really gives it away is Nvidia. This is like, guys, I'm telling you, head and shoulders don't get cleaner than this. These are the head and shoulders that truly make you money, not the ones that are flippy floppy. Look, left shoulder, right shoulder, head. Okay, now some people will be like, hood right there, or what I like to see is just like, it's like a double top, right? See how there's that bearish RSI divergence, and so you got the neckline there, you got the gap to fill right there, you got decreasing volume on the way up, and you got volume increasing within the right shoulder. You got a MACD cross right there, and it's just very clear that as Nvidia has been moving higher for the last 3-6 months, it's just been getting weaker. The strength has been going lower on the way up, and so that shit, bro, like, almost guaranteed this is going to flop. This is going to come down significantly. So that, once again, is another perfect example of a head and shoulders. All right. So if Nvidia and Amazon are set to come lower, and they really do, like, with a very high probability, look like they're going to come much, much lower here, in my opinion. If that's the case, guys, then you should understand, if Bitcoin underperforms the NASDAQ, meanwhile those stocks in the NASDAQ are dropping, and that means Bitcoin's really going to be shitting the bed. Now, that's the thing. It's hitting resistance, which means you would expect Bitcoin typically to start underperforming the NASDAQ at resistance. That's not guaranteed, but on paper, the fact that Bitcoin is coming into resistance versus the NASDAQ, that is on paper a good sign for you if you're short. Now, of course, Bitcoin can actually just outperform the NASDAQ and break out versus the NASDAQ. So for example, NASDAQ could be dropping and Bitcoin could be outperforming the NASDAQ, and we could actually see NASDAQ dropping, collapsing, and Bitcoin could still be going higher. So once again, this is on paper in your favor if you're short, but it's not actually guaranteed to play in your favor if you're short. Hopefully that makes sense, right? So that's another factor. Bitcoin USD over NASDAQ coming into 3-month resistance. Gold coming into 3-month resistance, which Bitcoin and gold been acting the same. Bitcoin coming into 3-month resistance, and that are some of the main reasons I'm seeing to be short right now. Okay, I don't think when the market goes up, up, up without much of a pullback that people are going to get away with just longing the top. Okay, the market a lot of times punishes you for your FOMO. And what a lot of people are probably doing right now is FOMOing into the pump. And so what does the market like to do? It likes to go and liquidate you when you FOMO in. And so where are people likely going to get liquidated? Depending on where you look at on the heat maps, which site or place you're getting your data from. Right here we see a lot of liquidity down at 28K, which is what? That level right there, you see. So you don't even have to look at these tools, you don't even have to look at these things to know that you're very likely to come down to that next level, right? If you never knew there's a lot of liquidity down to this level from this source, or from this this liquidity heat map right now, right? You could just look at the chart and know, okay, that's a next major level, this is a major resistance, right? So a lot of people are going to get liquidated at 28K, whereas you can see there's a lot more liquidity below us now. A lot more people who are going to get actually stopped out of their trades below us than above us. You can see above us, there's a little bit of liquidity at 30,400, but that's kind of, we've actually stopped out most of the liquidity above us, and we've taken out most of the short sellers at this point. And so when you combine that factor with all the factors I've shown you here, such as the 3-month resistance in Bitcoin, 3-month resistance versus the NASDAQ, 3-month resistance on gold, then you start to see things are coming together pretty nicely for short at a point that a lot of people are probably FOMOing in at the top end, or at least seems like that to me, with, guys, bearish divergence on the 4-hour, on the 3-hour, 2-hour, 1-hour, 15-minute, 30-minute. Pretty much all the short-term time frames are pointing to us topping here at this resistance. Now, another factor that I'm seeing which could play in favor of the short right now is the fact that USDT dominance is coming to support right here with bullish divergence. Okay, so as you can see here, as we're coming lower, we're getting stronger. Okay, and these are a lot of the little details that 90% of people don't even notice or pay attention to. Now, if USDT dominance rises, what does that mean? More money is coming into USDT, which is inversely correlated with Bitcoin. If more money is coming into USDT, right, if this goes up, Bitcoin's going down. And so because this is at support and getting stronger, there's a very solid chance we can bounce from here and inversely drop in Bitcoin from this point of resistance. All right, guys, so that's like 4+ reasons, and they're all lining up well together for why we're likely going to come down to 28K here at least. And I hope you enjoyed that analysis. Now, guys, I'm not sure if you know this, maybe it's your first time watching the channel, but if you want to join my alerts where I update you live and in real time exactly what we're doing, you can set up an account on BitUnix under my channel's referral link, and we'll get you into my alerts for completely free. Once you're signed up on BitUnix, you can send proof and confirmation to a support email I'm going to leave in front of you right now. I'll also leave it down in the description of this video. You'll send that. My customer support manager, Destiny, will handle it. He'll cover you, and he'll get you into the alerts for free. On top of that, if you're interested in being able to read charts the way I see them, the way I do, a lot of people say, well, I know how to read RSI. Do you? Oh, I know what a head and shoulders is. Do you really? Okay, the fact is, most of you think you know how to read charts. You don't know how to read shit. And some of you don't, you'll just blatantly admit you don't know how to read charts at all. And, well, it's going to help you a ton if you know how to read charts. So just so you know, there's a lot of people have been asking, hey, how do I actually get the course? You can go to, on Telegram, Crashes Clay Bot, okay? And then you can go here and, for example, deposit, okay? And you type in the amount you want to deposit to credit your balance. So let's say you want to credit and top up your balance with $300. Confirm, then it'll give you a payment link. You come over here and you can make that payment. And once that goes through, your balance will be credited. You'll have $300 in your balance. That's how you can buy the course here within this Telegram bot. And by the way, in case you're new and you're wondering, wait, what a minute, it says it costs money to join the alerts here. It's completely free as long as you sign up on BitUnix, BitGet, Femex, or Bybit. And yeah, it used to cost money, and in the bull market, we'll probably get back to some kind of paid subscription. But I also love free subscription Why? Because then it doesn't put any pressure on me to send any trades for you, especially in the bear market when things are slower. I will sometimes go an entire month without taking a trade. And imagine you pay me for a month and I don't send you a single trade for the entire month. Then I'm going to feel like I owe you or that I didn't deliver. When in reality, as a trader, if it's not there, don't force it. If it's not there, don't take a trade for an entire month. And so it's way better. If it's free, that means, once again, I have no pressure to send out a trade or do some bullshit trade just because you paid me, you see? So especially in the bear market, I absolutely am so happy to do this for completely free. And that's what we're doing. All right, guys, so take advantage. Make sure you set up an account on BitUnix. I promise you they'll treat you well. I promise you they will not freeze your money. And I promise you you're going to love it because they're not going to KYC or scan your face or any of that bullshit. So, guys, drop a like. Make sure you subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next video. Hopefully you enjoy this analysis and hopefully you make some money. Once again, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't always be right. I'm like Kamaru Usman, undefeated for years. And, hey, you know, I lose a trade last week or the week before that. Don't think I'm not human. Of course I can be wrong, okay? Of course I could lose a trade back-to-back, even though it seems so rare and it seems like that never happens. It can happen. So just be prepared that I could be wrong, but I doubt it. I like what I'm seeing, and if you see what I see, you like what you see, send them out you're comfortable risking on this trade if you're taking it. And I think we'll be coming down to 28K soon. All right, guys. See you later. Bye.